Welcome to the Coach Mays Show. We winning! And do not apologize for it. Covered it. Confidence, composure, class.
Welcome back to the Coach Mays Show, where we do not apologize for winning. I think that's important to understand. I do think in our society there's too much noise from the common, yelling at the uncommon, saying, hey, you're winning and you're making some of us uncomfortable. Pump the brakes. Nah, you don't apologize for winning. This episode, we're going to define what winning is. The first thing winning is, and again, this is my opinion. I want to be clear on that. But I do think it'll give you good food for thought. But the first thing that defines winning is if you hate losing more than you love winning. There's two types of people. Those that hate losing more than they love winning, and those that love winning more than they hate losing. When I have studied winning, the serial winners, the Sabans, the Woodens, the Belichicks, the Michael Phelps, the people that have won so consistently over time, they hate losing more than they love winning. Here is what that means. The people that hate losing more than they love winning have to view winning as a justification of the process that they have put in to win. So when I was coaching basketball, we would dive into film study and our practice prep and just how we attacked everything we did leading up to a game. We play the game. We win the game. I'm in my office after the game, after the radio, after the live stream, after, and the players are filtering out. And I'm at my desk. My wife and family usually come in, and I'm just sort of like, whew, okay, next. I didn't have a lot of joy. I wasn't unhappy at all. I was happy for our kids, our players, and our coaches. But for me, it was satisfying because I knew that what we had been working on worked. So I knew that the path I was on as the leader of the program was the proper and correct path to stay on. Whereas if I had lost, I was in that same office after that game, and I was really upset because I knew that I had to go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and tweak this, change that, adapt to this, adapt to that, look at all kinds of things because what we were doing was not working. We didn't win the game. So because my process was off, the protocol, the preparation, if you will, was off, it frustrated me. And that made me angry. Now, recently on some of my social media channels, I've posted a quote that says, when you fail, you should become fascinated, not frustrated. And so, yes, I got frustrated after a loss because I hated losing, but it fascinated me to see what I needed to change to get back on the winning track. But I think winners hate losing more than they love winning because it makes them realize that the process and the protocol and the preparation that they have been diving into is not optimized. It's not what it needs to be. And that upsets them. They got to fix it. The second thing that defines winning is when you have identified a purpose bigger than yourself as to why you are pursuing winning in the first place. Now, this is true for individuals as well as teams. It's easier to win for something larger than yourself when you're part of a collective unit, a team. It's harder when you're just an individual. For example, a golfer. They have to identify that larger purpose than their ego to define their version of winning. That's not as easy to do when you're in a locker room with a basketball team or a football team per se, and you can identify larger targets for the team collectively to shoot for. But nonetheless, whether you're an individual, whether you're a business organization, whether you're a team sport, finding that larger purpose is imperative. It defines winning. Here's why that's important. If there's not something larger than yourself involved in winning, then there's not going to be a legacy left. That legacy is what is contagious for those that come behind you to grasp onto, to say, hey, we want to continue this. Winning leaves a legacy. That legacy doesn't exist if it's not in the pursuit of something larger than ourselves. When you are on purpose, when you're living intentionally, as Ben Newman calls it, intentional focus. Not just focus, but intentional focus. When you're connected to your purpose. At Cognitecture, we talk to our clients, we identify that purpose as their fuel. What ignites you? What fuels your desire? What fuels your purpose? When you are connected to that purpose, you are the best version of yourself. So winning in the pursuit of, when it's attached to something bigger than ourselves, it gives us a purpose. When we're connected to that purpose, we are usually the best versions of ourselves. When you're fighting for something that's bigger than you, you find alignment in those moments. It goes back to, finding your fuel, finding what fuels you, your purpose. As Ben Newman calls it, your burn. You gotta find alignment before you find assignment. In sports, the assignment is trying to win the championship, right? You're not going to win the championship unless you find the alignment of why you're trying to win the championship. You've got to have alignment before assignment. Find that greater purpose. The third thing that defines winning is understanding this hard truth. Winning will divide and separate people. What? Yes. But I thought, Coach Mays, that winning brought people together. No, it's the pursuit of winning that brings people together. The outcome itself of winning will divide and separate people. It will divide and separate them into the common and uncommon. It will create envy and divisiveness from those that win, from those that do not win. You can't cheapen the process that goes into winning by just labeling it as we came out on top on the scoreboard. Winning is not outcome based. In a previous episode, we defined what winning was not. One of those was a score. Okay? Winning is more than a score. Well, if you define winning as just the outcome, you're cheapening the preparation that goes into that. Okay? And so they're going to have people that really prepare and really throw themselves into the pursuit of winning and all that entails. And then you're going to have people that just show up and aren't very prepared. Okay? Well, that creates separation. A championship mindset is a prepared mindset. A championship mindset is one that has resiliency and resolve. A common person, a common organization is a person or group of people that routinely are not used to winning. An uncommon person and an uncommon organization is a person or organization that is used to winning at an uncommon level. Uncommon people don't like hanging out with common people. People who excel, people who have elite mindsets don't like hanging out with the mediocre people, with the people who have average mindsets. Winning will separate and divide people. It doesn't reflect their character. Winners are better people than non-winners. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you want to win in this thing we call life, you're going to have to understand that there's going to be people who do not like your pursuit. They'll judge you for that. And always understand that winning will divide and separate. And if you're living based on the praise of others, you're going to die by their opinions. So go into any pursuit of winning understanding that there's going to be divisiveness and separation, and you're going to have to be okay with that. So in review, the three things that define winning. First is you got to hate losing more than you love winning because of the preparation that goes into it. Winning should justify your preparation and process. Two, you've got to identify that purpose that is larger than yourself. If you're part of an organization, you're part of a business, you're part of a team, whether it's in sports or outside of sports, you've got all these individuals. That collective group of individuals has to have a unifying purpose that's bigger than any one of them. And three, winning is going to separate and divide people. Be prepared for that. Thank you guys. I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.
We win it. And do not apologize for it. Comfort it. Confidence, composure, class.